Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Kevin Vidini here for Superpower Review, and welcome to Superpower Review's Saturday live stream, What's That Comic Book? If you guys are not familiar with What's That Comic Book, it's pretty much where I hang out with people from the comic book community. We spend 1 hour playing comic books from our collection, and we try to give as much information on that comic book as possible. This is a fantastic show. Really love the format of the show. A lot of great feedback on this show. And we have yet again a packed panel for you guys tonight. A beautiful bunch of people here with fantastic, epic collections. If you guys haven't smashed that like button yet, please do so. That really helps me out. If you want to subscribe to the channel to show your support, that would be greatly appreciated as well. Click on that bell notification so you know when I post new content and when I go live for What's That Comic Book. One last thing before we see this hot panel. If you guys would like to be a potential guest on What's That Comic Book, it's very easy. All you have to do is message me on Instagram at KarateKevin67. A link to my Instagram is in this video's description down below, along with my panelist. So let's see some of the people we got for tonight. What we got? Boom. So we have a packed panel, like I said here. We're going to take some time, give these gentlemen a couple of minutes to talk about themselves, give themselves a bit of an intro, talk about their channels and what they have got going on. Wayne, what do you got?
I got absolutely nothing. I'm just an old, fat, balding dude that lives in the middle of nowhere.
But you're collecting comics.
Yeah, but that's kind of sad, really, isn't it? When that's all I have to brag about.
And you're on What's That Comic Book once in a while to show those comic books. So hey, you know. No, I appreciate you coming in, Wayne. I mean, you answered the call quickly. I was looking for some people, and this is what, your third appearance on here now? Third appearance, yeah. There you go, man. Third time's the charm. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And then next up, we have Lawrence from Mighty Comics and Collectibles. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? Thank you, Kevin, for having me on the show. Appreciate it. I'm a first time on this show, so happy to be on it. Hopefully, I'll do this again sometime. I want to let everybody out there know, Kevin told me to do this, that I just ended my 2,000 subscriber giveaway contest. However, every month I give away a Diamond Select Toys statue. You guys haven't checked out that video, check it out. Right now, it's the Venom statue. It's really awesome, so make sure you watch it before the end of February because that's when the contest is over.
Cool, man. Awesome. And you just I don't think you have it out yet, but you just announced your membership on your channel as well, right?
Yeah, I just did a membership, and I was really didn't know if I wanted to do it because I don't pressure people for money at all like that because I think it's a little bit weird, but you know what? I figured I might as well do it. I'm offering a slew of things to people who want to spend the $4.99 a month, and there's no commitment whatsoever. You can cancel at any time. I'm actually going to send you guys out emails for books that I think that are really undervalued. Probably get 3 to 5 a month that I think are worth picking up now, especially with the market being the way it is.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us today. Next, we have Jimmy. What's up, man?
Howdy.
What's new?
Today was my first time trying to make Indian food. So after the show, we're going to find out if it was worth anything and see if my family's dead up there.
I just had Indian food. I literally just ate at an Indian restaurant.
Oh, no, it's good food. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as the channel goes, for those of you who aren't familiar with me and my channel, I put out haul videos, comic stuff, whatever. And right now I'm in the process of what I call the Grail run, which is acquiring 60 Grail comics in 60 months.
Wow.
And we released video number 7 for the 7th Grail that I picked up today.
Awesome, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
It's a great idea.
It is a good idea.
Yeah,
I try to pick up one Grail at least like in 1 year.
Absolutely. You know, in the way that the market's been and the way that the costs have been, you know, on the rise last year and fortunately they're falling this year, which is good for us as collectors, you know, not so good as if you were picking up something at the top of the market as a speculator. But, you know, if you want to get it, you got to get it. Right. And that was the point. I bought a collection a couple of years ago and I had finally gone through and finished the process of, you know, grading it and pricing it and all that stuff. And I'm like, what am I going to do with the money when I make off this? I'm like, let's get some big books.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's been the focus.
absolutely. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for joining in tonight.
Yeah,
Can't
thanks
wait
for
to
having me
see.
on.
Yeah, no man, no problem, man. I can't wait to see what you're going to be pulling out and showing us tonight. And lastly, we have Marco from Swytch Comics. What's up, man?
Hey, thanks for having me on. First time on the show as well. My channel, first of all, I work at a comic shop, so I have a lot of cool little.
You have a lot of
insight.
resources.
Yeah. My life is 100% devoted to comics at the moment, and it's like, I might as well do a YouTube channel on top of it. So, we're doing a 800 subscriber giveaway here pretty soon. Well, whenever we get there, did some Spider-Man books. It's a facsimile, not the real one. Don't get.
I was about to have a panic attack right
there.
He did
That's
that
so
at 800. What did you do for 2,000?
I was like, whoa, hey now, look at this guy.
Calm down, don't start.
We just lost all our viewers to go subscribe to your channel because of that. You have 4, yeah.
But yeah,
Everybody's-
I'm always trying to spread the love back around the community. We have a lot of good people here, so
It's
try to
true.
give out some free extra books that I have.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out tonight, nerding out with me on this fine Saturday, and thank you to our viewers who are hanging out with us tonight. Also, if I could do a little shameless plug too, I'm going to be this week uploading a video on my giveaway details. I have a lot of comic books that I'm giving away as well. A fat stack of comic books that were donated by my buddy Sector 2815. So a bunch of Batman. We had a community member send in an ASM 361, and we also have we have 2 comic book cases made by Gator Guard that I'm going to be giving away as well. So lots of stuff. More stuff could be added to it as well. I think I'm going to be adding a Superpower review shirt to the mix and a couple of fun posters, but it's a pretty fat stack of comic books. All right, guys, so we're 7 minutes in. Let's get the show started. And before we, Wayne, you're probably going to start us off. Before we do that, again, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. And go show these guys some love and support by going in this video's description, clicking on all those links. We got YouTube links in the description. We got Instagram links. Like I said, go show some love and support to these dudes. Wayne, what do you got, man?
All right, I see TJ's in the chat, so I'm going to show a book that I think he would like, and he might even have it. And if he does, it's in a lot higher grade than this.
TJ has everything.
Yeah, he does. It's EC Piracy #1. It was right before the code dropped. And it's in a decent enough 6.5. And it's a Wally Wood cover. And I bought this purely on impulse because I am not a collector of, comics this old. I'm Silver and Bronze Age, basically.
And that's an EC book, right?
Correct.
That looks really
But
cool.
it was a Wally Wood cover. It's an EC #1. And it was very, very reasonable, so I snagged it.
Awesome.
You can't go wrong buying a #1 issue of anything, man. But that's amazing.
That's true.
Damn, this is what I hate about these shows. Now I got to add that to the list.
Yeah.
See, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, Jimmy. It happens all the time.
Every
People will see
single
a comic book. They're going to be like, wow, I never knew about that book. I have to go get it now. It happens every single week. I'm not kidding you. So, last week we had a kind of a cool book. It was a magazine, and it showed like John Byrne art and like the new X-Men team that we all know with Wolverine, Colossus, and like the classic X-Men suits. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, the comic reader, right?
Yes, the
Yeah.
comic reader.
See, I love that. I love that book. Not that particular book, but that series, because you get some really cool stuff on there. Like, I love this Jerry Ordway Huntress. It's just
hell yeah.
fantastic. I picked it. It was a pure cover buy.
Sweet.
Yeah, dig those comic readers.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't really know too much about him actually, so it was all new to me. Lawrence, your turn, man. What do you got?
All right, so I'm going with one of my favorite books. I'm going with Amazing Spider-Man #121.
Whoa.
For anybody out there that that doesn't know, this is the death of Gwen Stacy, and I'm gonna spoil the storyline for you right now, but basically, this is also the first time that Norman Osborn reveals himself. No, I'm sorry, that's 39. I apologize. So, Spider-Man, Green Goblin throws Gwen Stacy off the George Washington Bridge, and Spider-Man tries to save her by, webbing her up and snaps her neck by accident. So he lives with that for the rest of his life. Everybody should know that who reads Amazing Spider-Man. But I also have an interesting story about this book. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
When I first got back into collecting, which is maybe about 4 years ago, I went to a local show, and like everybody, I'm digging through the long boxes, and this book was in it. Okay. And this guy had this book priced for $25.
Oh man.
Wow.
$25. Listen, it's gone up a lot in 4 years, don't get me wrong, but back then it was at least a $400 book, right? In this grade. That is insane to me. I had to do like a double take because I thought it was like a reprint or something like that. I had to like, wait a minute. What's wrong? And like,
yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll take it. No questions asked. So again, like everybody who watches my channel knows I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. So like I'm actually going to be doing a video soon about yellow covered keys because they are, highly collectible in my opinion. So, and this is also a great storyline. So if you guys haven't checked this book out, it's a great one.
It's got to be the color of the Bronze Age. I got to say that much.
Yeah. Even if I was gonna say, even if you think about it, you go back to Batman 1, Superman 1, like the bigger keys, you're like, you know what? They're yellow covers. Like I never really put it together.
Yeah, I don't like the color yellow, but it does make a good background. Like 60,
yeah,
Star Wars 68.
Again,
love it.
Big Star Wars
True.
key.
Honestly, my favorite yellow covers happen to be on Daredevil comic books. It's that yellow and red. I like that. I like that a lot. So Wayne, just so you know, TJ the Slab Dragon does not have that comic book. That's kind of crazy. TJ, you're slacking, man. What are you doing? You sure you don't have one under those those fat stacks of slabs, man?
I'm relatively certain he knows every single book that he has in his collection.
Yeah, dude, TJ is crazy. I mean, we did a video together, and some of the books he showed, he does have an ASM 121 though,
and a 122 and a 9.6.
That's crazy.
He's got the bookends.
TJ, I don't understand how you're watching and you can't come on the show. Damn it! You got it.
Damn it!
Get on here. All right. Beautiful books, man. Beautiful books. All right. So what do we got? Jimmy, you're next.
Sure. So I'm going to go in a completely opposite direction from everybody else. And I'm going to show the Uncanny X-Men number 319. It's art by Steve Epting, who you might remember from the Captain America run that brought us back Bucky Barnes as the Winter Soldier, and a story by Scott Lobdell. Now, what's important about this particular book isn't the fact that it's an X-Men story necessarily, but it is the actual start of the most important X-Men run ever. And that's the Age of Apocalypse, because it leads into the Legion quest, where Legion goes back in time to kill Magneto so that Magneto never takes over all the monopolizes the time of Charles Xavier, so that he's not fighting him, and he would actually spend time with his son, David Haller, who is Legion. But as we know, unfortunately, it's Professor X who gets killed in the past, and Magneto who lives, and thus, without having them there and creating the X-Men, he opens the door for Apocalypse to take over the Earth, and we get, again, the Age of Apocalypse was a series of 4-issue storylines which were just, in my opinion, the most progressive X-Men books that were ever done, especially in that time, and that was 1993. And it also was what put me back into reading the X-Men books as well, because the story was fantastic. So that's the book here, X-Men 319, which launches the Legion quest, and thus the Age of Apocalypse.
Awesome.
Excellent.
That is excellent.
I've got the Age of Apocalypse Omnis sitting on my shelf, and I haven't read them. Now I'm going to have to.
Oh my God, you have to read that. It is incredible. It is by far, like, in my opinion, after the Byrne Claremont run and probably the Claremont Silvestri run, that is the best story. right? Because the Marauders and going into the Mr. Sinister and all that stuff, the Mutant Massacre was all just fantastic. That was actually when I started reading X-Men, was when that came out, and then that story was just incredible.
Agreed. When I think of X-Men and X-Men comic books, my mind immediately just goes to John Byrne and Chris Claremont right away. But Wayne, how do you have an omnibus that you haven't read yet? How do you do that?
You got time.
Yeah, and I've got more than I can shake a stick at.
Marco, your turn, man. What do you got?
Well, I guess I'll follow that up with some John Byrne goodness here. We have Spectacular Spider-Man 101, and this is starting off with one. I got some weird ones in here, but starting off with one that I think most people should recognize this cover. I think, first of all, big fan of John Byrne. Love his She-Hulk stuff, especially. And this is just one of my. It's not really a key book, not a super valuable book. Literally, the only value it has is because how great the cover it is. And I think it's a cover that's been tried to be replicated even by Byrne himself.
Yep.
And
Alpha Flay, right?
Yeah, it just never quite, and there's been some good ones, but never quite got to this level. I think the decisions of the angles that they decided, or he decided to use, and then the fluid motion, kind of this crazy, not typically, I mean, it's kind of almost Spider-Man 300-esque if you flip it around a little bit.
Nah.
Yeah, that's just,
don't taint that with McFarlane.
I'm just talking, it is just a kind of a funky position that you don't see very often. And there's just so much movement, and I'm a big art person, so it's just always been one of my favorite covers, and is one I wanted to make sure I got. I want to get it slabbed eventually. Maybe not this particular copy, but someday.
I know somebody with a 9.8.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one to get a 9.8. All right, so let's talk about this comic book for a second, right? I used to have this comic book. This is like when I first got back into collecting. I'm a massive Symbiote Spider-Man fan. Anything Symbiote for me, right? I bought this book because I love that cover. Love John Byrne's artwork. I'm just like, yeah, I have to have this. Fortunately for me, and it's still somewhat the same situation where I can't keep everything in the collection. I just don't have that much space. And this book is just strictly a cover buy, okay? Because I remember reading this comic book thinking that I'm going to get a Symbiote Spider-Man story, but I'm not. I have Spider-Man in his regular duds. He's fighting Whiplash, which is one of the weakest villains in my opinion, and the story was just so lame. I was like, I can't keep this. This is getting out of here.
Such a good cover, though, man.
It is. I hate to say this because I'm a ASM purist, like probably most everybody, but I loved reading Web of Spider-Man when I was a kid. I thought I loved it. I don't know why, but I went from ASM and I said, I wasn't crazy about Spectacular, but when I got to Web, the stories were good. So I might be in the minority on that, but I like that.
I enjoyed all of them, and that Web of Spider-Man #1 is just so captivating a cover. It just really good. But yeah, I thought they were all really well done, and I think that's something that they haven't been able to capture since then either. So
I agree that the new ASMs are awful.
Mm-hmm. But Web of Spider-Man was a very, very solid series. Cool, guys. All right, so we are going to finish our first round here. Again, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're watching this on the rewind, what was some of your favorite comic books that you saw so far in this round? All right. What do you guys want to see? You guys want to see something from the back issue Marvel box? We got the back issue DC box. I have no slabs tonight, but I also have the unread pile or the box of raw keys.
I'm a DC guy.
I'm a Marvel guy.
Well, Wayne said DC first, so I'll do that. So if we're going in the box of raw keys here, it's most likely going to be Batman or Swamp Thing. What we got? Ooh, I like this one. All right, so we have here a Detective Comics number 405.
Ooh, First League of Assassins.
Yeah, that's right, sir. Thank you. First League of Assassins, classic Neil Adams cover. This was a fantastic buy. I think I snagged this for like $40. This is one of the comic books that I am dying to get signed by Neil Adams. Recently, oh, you ready for this story? Recently, there was one on eBay that was signed by Neil Adams in an 8.0, and here's the kicker. It was a double cover.
Ooh.
Can you imagine owning this book in a double cover signed by Adams? I was so bummed out, man, when I missed out on it.
What did that go?
What did it go for?
It went for $1,100, and I
Fair
thought
price.
it was, it could have gone down a little bit. I think it could have
Sure.
gone
I
down.
mean, it's
a
an
little bit.
important key. I mean, I sold a signed copy of Tomb of Dracula #1 for in an 8.0. 8.0 or 8.5, I think, for $1,100. So, and it wasn't a double cover.
Mm.
And I would argue that that's a more important key than the first Dracula.
So I would somewhat agree with that. I mean, you can't go wrong with Dracula, though.
Sure, but I mean, the League of Assassins. The League of Assassins has been in like every DC show, movie, everything ever.
Touche. You want one of the funniest panels in this comic book, right? Is a boat is coming toward Batman in another boat, and Batman uses a gun to blow it up. And I thought that was hilarious. When that came up, when I saw that and read that, I was like, Batman using a gun? He's going to shoot someone. And he shoots a boat and it explodes. I'm like, that was hilarious.
Anytime Batman's packing heat, it's got to be funny.
Yeah, right. All right, 22 minutes in. We just finished off our first round. We're going to go into round 2. Wayne, what do you got?
I got a book that just arrived in the mail. I'm working on the comics. I want runs of the comics that really affected me as a kid when I first got into it. So I'm almost done with the Barry Windsor Smith Conans. I need 12 and 13. I need 14 and 15 of Kirby's Demon. And so, but I just started Swamp Thing. And this is that classic cover. He did 10 issues. I've got 1, 4, 8, 9, and 10 now.
And you're trying to get them all slabbed? Or
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I just recently finished that run. That's a tough run to get, especially in high grade.
Wait, I'm surprised you didn't buy the collection I was selling.
I didn't even notice it.
No, oh yeah, I had a bunch of them for sale. Mint Hunter Comics snagged them up.
But man, when this comic came out, now if you reread this story, it's very mundane, very 70s, but the art is still amazing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Freaking amazing. And then, I got out of comics in like 75, 76. It was right after the X-Men relaunched. And I didn't start buying floppies again until like 82 or 83. And that's when I discovered more Swamp Thing, and that blew my mind. And now I'm just a huge Swamp Thing guy. But it's those I really want.
Oh, those Bernie Wrightson ones are incredible.
Oh, yeah. You cannot go wrong with those first 10 issues. I mean, I love this character. Swamp Thing is one of my favorite characters. You just cannot go wrong with the 1 through 10 series. Those issues are phenomenal. Every single page is amazing. Every single cover is beautiful and gorgeous. And I just love the character. I didn't get too much into Swamp Thing after Bernie left. So like what I did a lot, and what I still do, is I will read the 1 through 10 issues. I'll read a little bit when Stephen Bissett got onto the team, like with Rick Veitch, and then just go right into the Alan Moore run.
Hey, Lemire's run is worth reading.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give it a shot. I mean, my LCS owner, who is also a huge Swamp Thing fanatic, tells me all the time, like, yeah, you got to get this trade with, to fill in those gaps. I'm like, I don't know if I really need to. Like, I know there's a vampire story where the vampires get flooded and stuff, and they kind of come back in Alan Moore's run. But I mean, I kind of get the gist of it. I don't know. But yeah, you can't go wrong with Swamp. I have that I had that book slabbed as well. It's a toss up between issue 1 and that cover. That's like my favorite. I can't like that. I love them equally both. Like none of them can take first or second place. Like it's like I love this one a little more today. Oh, I love that one a little more today. Great choice, Wayne. Great choice. All right, Lauren, what do you got, man?
All right, so there's a theme with my books today, okay? Just so everybody knows that there. My favorite artist, okay, is John Romita. And a lot of guys get into comics for stories. I got into comics for the art.
Mm-hmm.
And John Romita, to me, is the best artist I've ever seen outside of Jack Kirby. Everything he's drawn has always called to me. And this is my favorite cover in comics. Everything that I've ever collected, everything that I've ever read, it comes down to this cover. I don't know what it is, but the purples, the blues, the Spider-Man unmasked, whatever you want to call it, I absolutely love it. So for anybody that doesn't know this comic, not only does the Green Goblin find out who Spider-Man is in Peter Parker, but he also reveals himself to Peter Parker as Norman Osborn. So this is a huge key. So everybody talks about the cover, how great it is. It's the first Romita artwork on the Amazing Spider-Man title as well. But not many people talk about that. This is the first time Peter Parker finds out that the Goblin is Norman Osborn. So I love John Romita, guys. So I'm going to show you guys a bunch of his stuff today.
I love that book. I need that book.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm looking for a second copy as well. Like I want like a higher grade. Like this is probably like a 3.540. I want like a pristine copy considering it's my favorite book.
Yeah, 39 and 40 are ones you want like a solid 6 or better.
Yeah,
for collection level.
They're just beautiful covers.
I want that book too.
Yeah. A lot of people really like that book. I mean, so recently at a flea market, I think it was the previous spring, I saw one at a flea market, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So I'm like, how much is this book? It was beat though. It was really, really beat. But if it was like $1 or, like if they had for $1 and didn't know what it was, or for $5, hey, whatever. I don't know. They're like, it's $3.25. I'm like, ooh, no.
No way, man. I've been trying to find a second copy of this book for my stepson as well. He loves his cover. So like I want a nice high grade for myself, but if I can find a beater for him, man, he's dying to get his hands on this book as well.
TJ, we all need that book. You don't have that, TJ? That's the second book in today's live stream that you don't have. I'm disappointed in you, sir.
Second book he's admitted not to having.
Yeah, right.
Really? I'm shocked he doesn't have that.
Jeez, TJ,
I doubt he has that. I doubt he has the Uncanny X-Men 319 either. But
All right, Jimmy, your turn.
All right. Really important book. Go ahead and pull me back out. I want to see if the panel knows this book.
Oh, okay.
So this is Astonishing Tales, issue number 6. Does everybody know what this book is?
Nay, sir.
This is the first appearance of another character who actually gets their big-time first appearance in a book later on. This is the first appearance of Bobby Morse before she becomes Mockingbird.
Oh.
So it's in Astonishing Tales issue, and she's basically not even named in the book, just like random woman showing up at Kazar's house, in distress. That's basically where she's at. It's not until the next book that you get her. I think you get her full name or just her first name, and then the book after that you get definitely get full name. But it's also significant because this starts the battle between Doctor Doom and T'Challa in the backup story that goes on for 2 more issues in this particular run, which is actually a pretty significant and solid storyline. So yeah, that's Astonishing Tales issue number 6, featuring
What the split cover?
Bobby Morse. Yeah, so it was a split feature from the beginning with Kazar and Doctor Doom. And I think I said it goes like 8 or 9 issues into the split features, and then it goes just to Kazar.
Cool. I mean, for people who love Doctor Doom, I mean, that's I think that's a book to definitely get.
Yeah,
Especially
that and Astonishing Tales number 1, which is where that starts from.
Kazar is actually getting hot right now, and all the Doctor Doom talk about him possibly having like a cameo in Black Panther 2. That might be a big spec book right there.
Yeah, I think it's been talked about, and I want to say there was like there's some other like small Doom keys kind of floating around that are like integral to his storyline, but like obviously everybody knows the Marvel Superheroes 20.
Cool. All right, sweet. Marco, what do you got?
All right, I got one. You may know, you might not know. It's a little obscure. Anybody recognize this book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First Jim Lee published work.
Yeah, which is I just had to get it when I found out about this book, which obviously love Jim Lee's work on X-Men and everything, and then before I even knew this had anything to do with him, I was just like, Samurai Santa, that is ridiculous. And I'm in love with that idea. So I probably would have picked it up anyway, but then I was like, and it's first Jim Lee. So to me, this is just a crazy cool little nifty book that you don't see too often. I think, like, again, I work at a shop, and I think I've only been there a couple years, but I think I've only seen it like twice. And you don't ever go to a con and see it on a wall or nothing. It's just a little fun, and it does have a decent little value to it. I don't know, it's just one of those things that every time I look at it, it brings a smile to my face. And then it has the additional feature, like I said, it is first Jim Lee. And it's funny I say it like that, actually, because it's like, first Jim Lee, whatever. That's I'm talking about Samurai Santa. Look how goofy this is. Yeah. That's the pull for me. But yeah, it's just one of those fun facts that I guess a lot of people probably don't know. Y'all comic nerds out here may know, but your average.
I'm aware of that book, but I have never seen it in the wild. Not once.
Yeah, I've never either.
Same. I know about the book, but I have never seen it. Do you decorate your house and for Christmas with that book, Marco?
It should go right on top of the tree, shouldn't it?
Yeah, right.
Right next to it. Frame. Get one of those comic frames.
Yeah.
It's a book I wouldn't mind getting graded eventually. I got a whole bunch I need to see.
Just get when the opportunity of Jim Lee can come and sign it, dude. Totally do it.
Right,
that'd be a fun one. Yeah,
totally do it. That would be sick. So like, speaking of like decorating, right? Do you guys like use certain comic books to like put around like during certain seasons, maybe? No. I mean, I totally do it during Halloween. Like, I'll bust out the Swamp Things and like my DC like Batman books with like skeletons and whatnot.
I just built this, so I haven't had a holiday opportunity to flesh that out. So this is just stuff I got last year.
Thundercats. I just sold the Thundercats #1 in an 8.0.
That's one of my childhood comics. Like that show was on TV when I was a kid.
Me too, man. I love that. That and Masters of the Universe were like back to back my two favorite shows.
Well, for me, it was mostly it was Transformers and G.I. Joe, and then Thundercats and all that. Voltron. Oh
yeah.
Voltron.
The book you have in your case there, sir, is my grail for this year.
That one?
That's it.
Prices are coming down, so.
Yes, it is. I think it's my time to pounce.
They're coming down on a lot of stuff now, so everybody's
absolutely
be careful out there. Be picky.
Yeah, so my wife is going to be going away for vacation for about 6 weeks, so I think that will give me time to recoup and maybe save the money for one. and then she'll come home and be like, "What's that?" Be like, "I don't know what that is." I have no idea.
That forever.
Yeah, that's always been there.
Always been there.
That's what I say. Or
use her line back on her. What, this old thing?
So Kev, I got to ask you this question because
Sure.
I see everybody like in a room with like comics. You have a space where you display everything, or no?
I
Or
just
you keep packed
have
away.
I just have a shelf with my statues. That's it. And it's a small shelf. I keep my books away in their boxes. My slabs are in drawers, and I only take them out of their dark place when I take pictures with them. Throw up on Instagram. That's pretty much it. But other than that, no, I don't really have a space to show the comic books. It's just the shelf of statues, and I have like my trade paperbacks on them as well. That's about it. I used to have more statues because in some of my previous videos have been mentioning like I've been selling a lot of statues in order to upgrade some of the books, especially selling some of the older copies to some of my comic books. But that's what's going on right now with the price changes in the market. Something's got to give for me. So it's like, yeah, these statues are really cool, but I'd rather have the books.
Yeah, I just did something similar. I got rid of a whole bunch of Funko Pops for this bad boy.
Oh, congratulations. Nice. Look at that. 5.5. Bam. Sexy, man. I love that wall. I mean, every time I see people with their like displays, like look at you guys with all your displays, I'm just like, man, that's just so sick. Like I
Simple.
yeah, I'm sure it is, but it's just like, man, I love it. I'm just stuck with green walls with family photos. All right, so we're at the end of round 2. What's the panel say? Marvel back issue box, DC.
Yeah, let's go Marvel this time.
Marvel this time. You want to go in regular back issues or the keys?
Oh, let's do a key.
Let's do a key. All about them keys. It's probably going to be an ASM 300 because this box is riddled with them. Nope, it's the next best thing. It's also riddled with Secret Wars number 8s.
Venom related books.
Venom related books. So we have a Secret Wars number 8. Go ahead. What are you gonna say, Lawrence?
I was gonna say those are pretty good books to be riddled with.
Yeah. I mean, so if you don't know the craziness, there's 8 copies in the collection of ASM 300.
Wow.
So all-time favorite comic book. Let's just get one out. Why the hell not? Because that's beautiful pairing. I'm cheating, guys. I'm sorry, but it's my damn show. So, always been a huge symbiote fan. Love the symbiotes. So, funny story with these comic books right here, right? So these are my 2 favorite books of all time. Secret Wars 8 tells the story of Spider-Man getting that symbiote suit, classic cover. And we got ASM 300, which obviously is the first full appearance of Venom. So when I was in high school collecting again, I've always been a huge symbiote person since the animated show. And I would get a little more into the info about comic books and do some research on them and see what they were going for. And I think at the time, like an ASM 300, I don't know, a decent shape was going for about $125, and I'd be like $125. I'll never spend that much on a comic book. No way. And here I am today, spending all this money on comic books. So these 2 comic books, the reason why I hoarded them is because I just thought I never would get them. And so when I was buying them, I'm like, you know what? That's a good deal for it. Let me just buy it again. I don't know about you guys, but I rather spend money on a comic book again that I know and love, opposed to buying a comic book that I don't know about and end up not liking it.
I agree with you, man. Like that's part of the reason like I'm struggling now because a lot of the books I've always wanted, like I kind of have now. So like I find myself saying, well, should I pick up another copy or should I try something else? But every time I try something else, I'm not as happy as I am with buying another copy of something that I love.
Do you like Batman?
I do actually. Like I like the Neil Adams Batman. I loved what got me back into comics when I was a kid was the Death in the Family. I have that storyline. I love that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
That got me into Batman for a while, and then of course the Keaton movie came out there in the early '90s, and then of course I stopped watching all that stuff and got out of comics. So
well, if
yeah,
you really want to spend some money, get into Golden Age Batman.
Yeah.
I have not dipped my toe in any Golden Age. I just can't do it.
Is a money pit.
It
Yeah.
is a huge money pit.
Now, it's a huge, giant sucking hole for cash.
Yeah. I mean, like these books cannot even be keys, and they're so much money. Like I've looked on eBay, like dipped my toe in a bit, and I was just like, nope, I'm out of here, dude. I can't do it. Yeah, too cold for me. I'm out of here. No, I haven't dipped into the Golden Age yet. I just can't. I just can't justify it yet. I mean, like there's some books with Silver Age that I'm sort of like. I don't know. I mean, like Silver Age to me is like a hit or a miss. Like I feel like they're still too campy, especially Batman for me. And I'm just like, I don't know why I did this. So like, if Silver Age can be campy for me, I know Golden Age can probably be somewhat same thing or maybe even worse.
Those Silver Age Batman keys have really gone up over the past year. Like you
Yeah.
could have gotten a first appearance of Two-Face like a year and a half ago for under $100. Now it's like quadrupled in price.
Yeah, so the first Silver Age, right?
Yeah.
The Neil Adams cover, yeah. So that's another book that I really enjoy having in the collection. That's one of my favorite Neil Adams books, and like I have 2 copies, and I think I never paid any more than $200 for them. So yeah, those
I have
are
2
great
copies
books.
of that one as well, but I mean, I paid definitely more than $200 for it. But I know that they were nowhere near current market value when I bought them.
Right.
What they are when they're graded. But I mean, I hear you, Lawrence. I mean, trying to find new stuff that that you're interested in. It's like I'm still picking up, other keys that I don't have. Like got this not that long ago, this week. So, First Metal Men, saw it on a shelf, traded some books for it, took it home. So I'm a happy camper, and I scratch another one off the list. But I love picking up those keys anytime I can.
That's on my list for this year. That very book.
Nice.
Right on. Yeah,
Nice.
It's a good book.
So we were talking about displays earlier, the wall displays, and this comment is so funny. We got TJ Slab Dragon saying, "I have a wall, it's just more vertical." Seriously, if you guys are not familiar with TJ's comic book collection, we have a video that we did together where he shows the stacks and stacks and stacks of slabs. It's hilarious. And read some of the comments, dude. There is a lot of negative comments, but they're pretty hilarious. People like got so triggered over seeing that video. Like, how can he do that to those comic books?
They're stacked up all nice.
I was gonna say, does he have any raw books or only slabs?
No, he has raw books, but it's mostly all slabs.
Well, the raw books are just waiting to be slabbed.
Yeah.
Those are in the queue. Like they're not officially in the TJ Slab Dragon Watson collection until they're encased by CGC.
True. Very, very true. We are past the 40-minute mark. We are going on round 3, if I'm not mistaken. Again, guys, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to show these guys some love and go into this video's description. Click on those links. We got Instagram links. We got YouTube links. Again, go show them some love and support. All right, Wayne, what do you got? Round 3.
All right, so for the last year and a half or so, I've been concentrating on Silver Age DC minor keys. And all right, to me, when I got back in the game in the early 80s, you had an independent explosion. Marvel was kicking ass with X-Men and Miller on Daredevil. DC post-crisis was killing it. You had Miller on Dark Knight, Watchmen, all that good stuff. For me, the 80s were the golden age of comics, story-wise. So Morrison came out with his Doom Patrol then, and that was just an incredibly surreal comic. It was excellent. And I can highly recommend the DC show. It's just as weird and based in large part off Morrison's 80s run. So this is what I got about 2 weeks ago after diligently hunting for it for the past year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, man, that is incredible.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And it's got the Pence stamp on it too. That's fantastic.
And I got, I paid right at fair market value, man. You know, I mean, you go on eBay and people want 20 to 100% more. This cat had it on, what's that app that just came out?
Whatnot?
No, I mean for Shortbox.
Oh, Shortbox, yeah.
This guy had it on Shortbox, and for a little higher than market value, and the highest offer he had gotten so far was a little below it. So I just split the difference, and boom, he accepted my offer immediately.
Awesome.
And this is too cool. Bruno Premiani cover and art. But that's all your main characters right there. And they're still the Doom Patrol today, you know. And speaking
so
of
cool.
Byrne took a turn writing and drawing Doom Patrol that was incredibly mediocre considering it's Byrne, who I am a huge fan of.
That's good
Very
stuff.
cool.
So, Wayne, just a quick question, right? So, would you say that you did you like your experience with using Shortbox?
That's the first time I've ever bought anything.
Yeah. Has anybody here bought anything from Shortbox?
I've bought and sold.
No.
Bought and sold.
Yeah.
And how you been liking
I've
it?
enjoyed it. Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
I've met the crew that works there at conventions. They're good people. Solid product.
I do think it's a good app. My only gripe, and it's not their fault, is like the prices I find just as high as on there than I do on eBay. So I mean, the app is awesome. That it's a nice, easy, you know, application to find stuff that you're looking for, and it's all slabs, which is great. But I just find that people are posting on there. They're posting the same prices they are on eBay, and a lot of them are just over fair market value.
Ditto.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I mean, some people are anticipating, market changes, things of that nature, as well as, there's a 10% overhead for sellers. I mean, it's not the 12.5% that eBay is, but it's still, people are wanting to get the full value instead of just taking into consideration, like, hey, I have to lose a little bit under fair market, in order to get this. But that's what the offer, capability is. That really helps out.
So I'm on there, like looking for stuff, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet on anything.
Same here.
Yeah, I looked at it a little bit, but I haven't messed with it too much.
See, I
Someday.
have not messed with what is it? What app? What's
Whatnot?
what's not? Dude, I do not need another fucking sinkhole of comic books. I'm staying away from that.
There's a lot of small stuff on there. I don't really see people posting like major keys and stuff like that, or even minor keys. Most of the stuff is like non.
Well, you can't.
It doesn't matter. It all adds up.
Yeah.
It's auction. It's pretty much auction only. I mean, if you're selling pops, you can post, but yeah.
Wayne, I'm totally with you on that one, man. I'm like, dude, I do not need another hub where I'm looking at comic books and sinking money into stuff. It's hilarious. All right, Laura, it's your turn. What do you got, man?
All right, so like I said, there was a theme today. So my theme today is John Romita.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first published Spider-Man work by Mr. Romita. So again, the last one I showed you was the first on Amazing Spider-Man. And now this is the first Spider-Man overall, and it's a Daredevil book. Daredevil 16. Now, which is a crazy storyline about this book is that Spider-Man and Daredevil actually fight in this thing, and by the end of the comic book, Spidey's senses go off, and he thinks that Foggy Nelson is Daredevil and ends up trying to fight him. So if anybody doesn't, that's an interesting tidbit to this storyline, which I thought was cool. But being a huge Romita fan like I am, how could you not, go after this book? So this is one of my big ones in my collection. This book has really, really gotten expensive over the past year. I mean, I picked this book up for about like $100 around this price around 2 years ago. Now I just saw a high grade on eBay close to $1,000, which
Probably doesn't help.
A ton of money.
Daredevil showed up in a Spider-Man movie.
That's right.
That's it.
That's exactly it.
Everything Daredevil right now is super hot, and now that he shows up in a Spider movie, it's even more. So
I'm so glad I got a couple of copies of that before all the hype went out.
Yeah, there you go. There's another one.
My 17 is missing. It's 16. I haven't read this book yet. It's in the unread pile because I'm waiting to get to 16. But yeah, as soon as you pulled that out, I was like, oh no, I need that one. Cool. All right, Jimmy, what do you got?
Oh, I got something interesting. So I'm a huge X-Men fan, right? And if you're aware of the anthology series that Marvel did, a lot of the early ones during the Atlas years used to have prototypes of characters that you see now. Like they'd test them out and everything. Because most of what they were putting out there was like romance and monster books and things of that nature. So this one's an interesting one. It's a Stan Lee story. It's a Steve Ditko cover. It's Amazing Adult Fantasy number 14. Now, there's two things important about this book. Number one, this is the book that came out before the important book. So it's not quite as important as the book that follows it, which everybody is already aware of. But what's
the first appearance of Batman, right?
Yes, exactly. First Batman's in this.
Yes, right.
This book actually has the introduction of a character who is able to project himself out of his body into what's called the astral plane. And he's bald, and he's just kind of floating around, disincorporated through most of the story. And it is the prototype of Professor X.
Huh.
Yeah. There was another number of books that that have like the prototypes on there. There's ones for Sandman, Doctor Doom, Hulk, Spider-Man, Aunt May, and Uncle Ben are in one. Yeah, so there's a lot of those out there that I'm slowly trying to track them down as I can, to find them.
Yeah, I love those. A lot of them in Strange Tales.
Oh yeah, Strange Tales, Tales to Astonish, Tales of Suspense, Amazing Adult Fantasy. So yeah, so they're out there. You just got to know which ones are which, and able to pick those up when they come up. Like this one, it's got hole punches in the top and the bottom. So on the lookout for a nicer copy.
Cool.
That one's not bad though. Like every time I see that book, I want to pick it up, and it's like the copies that I find are horrible. So that one actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's solid in terms of overall condition on it. Like without the hole punches, it'd probably be about a 3.5. Solid, complete, but yeah, I hate the hole punches. Yeah, it drives me nuts.
If it was a key book for me, I don't think it would bother me too much. The one thing that ruins me the most, or is like a huge turnoff for me about buying a book, is writing on it, unless it's a signature. But I don't like writing on comic books. That's like a dead. I don't know. That's not. It's just not for me. I can't do the writing. Even if it's like, written 5 cents on it or something, or a person's name, I can't do it.
It's funny. It's like I do cleaning and pressing, and I have some customers that like don't want me to touch the store stamps or anything like that. I'm like, I can remove that for you, and they're like, no, don't touch it. And I'm like, okay.
See, I can't stand the store stamps. I know a lot of people, but that's the thing. Like I'm younger. I didn't grow up, and the date means nothing to me. I just want it off my comic book.
Same thing. Same. Yeah. Right. So like when like a lot of people are like, oh, it's got the stamp on it. I'm like, yeah, all right. Like, yeah, that's cool. It's cool for you, but like if it was like my books, I would be like, see, we have someone here. I love the stamps. I'm not a huge fan of the stamps. I don't. It doesn't mean anything to me.
So let me ask you a question. You ready? I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, sure.
So if you had an opportunity to buy a huge book, I'm talking like major key, like an AF-15, but it had writing on it, would you buy it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to buy one that's got a chunk missing out of it, and I hate that.
Yeah,
my FF3 that I got is missing a small piece at the bottom, and it like.
Yeah.
But it's the grade I can afford on that book.
But like if it's missing pages and stuff too, like that would obviously be like
incomplete.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I don't go there either.
Yeah, but like writing irks me. It's like, no, I can't do it. Like there was one time I was at a con, I was going to buy the first appearance of Man-Bat, which I have now, but I was like, can you please take it out of the bag so I can take a look at it? And boom, right there on the back cover it says Johnny, and I'm like,
Mm.
nope, sorry, can't do it.
Damn you, Johnny.
Damn you, Johnny! Why are you writing on my future comic books, dude? What the hell? All right, Marco, what do you got for your last comic book?
All right, this last one is guaranteed to stump you all. We have Godslap, the prologue. So this is an indie book, I guess you could say. It's from a YouTuber that he. Do you ever watch the slap fighting? Do y'all know what that is?
Is that
Yeah.
like they like hold
But they-
Like the slap
Oh,
bet
the
from
bar.
How I Met Your Mother.
Well, I don't know what that, but they have tournaments now.
Yeah, they hold the
Yeah, they
bar,
cuff
right? And
each
they
other.
slap each other, right?
No, they don't. They just stand there and they prep themselves up and
All right,
knock
yeah,
the hell
okay.
out of each other. It's super fun. He started watching a lot of those videos and fell in love with them, and I fell in love with him as he was watching them and making videos talking about them and everything. And then he decided to make a comic book, and he called it. So it's very, I guess, kind of anime-esque in a way. It's like, let's take a basic idea and like make it super extreme and completely crazy. But that's kind of the premise of this one. Is this guy that his fighting style is slapping, and it's just it's a super cool one. I actually have a few different covers in my boxes though, and I got one getting graded actually because I really like it. But I'm trying to remember now. So there's 4 different covers. This one and essentially the B cover were all like open order for a period. And then, so I don't know how many of those were printed, but then the C and D cover, I think, were 1,000 print each. So, nice little, relatively small prints on these. I don't know what these are, but it's just, I like having unique books. And so when I saw one of my favorite YouTubers were doing, his name's Penguin Zero. I don't know if anybody knows him, but I was like, yeah, I'll definitely hop on that and see what it's about. And I thought it was a pretty cool issue. Definitely, like I said, it's a prologue. Obviously, he's publishing it all himself, so he's not with Boom or Image or whatever. So it's taken a while for the actual number 1 to come out, but I'm excited for it.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Cool. I see some people are going after the first Dead Man this year. We got our guy Wayne looking for one. So of course, what does that mean? TJ is looking for one.
I'd love to find one too. They're tough in a high grade.
They are. I don't think I've ever seen one higher than a 7.0 anywhere, like in person.
Yeah, Swytch. I got to tell you, that just sounds absolutely infuriating. I mean, I would rather get punched than have somebody just haul off and slap the hell out of me. Especially in a fight. It's like,
Yeah. If you
Yeah,
haven't
I've
seen
seen-
those tournaments, man, you have to because they're
They're crazy. I agree. I saw some of them on YouTube, man. They show it on like the shorts. Oh my god, these guys get like sent to the ground with one slap.
Yeah.
now I got to check that out. Now I have to.
It's
Like,
brutal.
there's finally a good reason for YouTube Shorts.
It sounds a little silly, but when you watch these behemoths of men just whoop-ah and slap the soul out of someone, it will change your mind.
Slap this up.
So
Sounds like
most
a
of the time they have
Mortal
to
Kombat
like,
finishing move.
yeah. Most of the time they have to wear like earplugs in case if like they don't get like smacked in the ear and like mess up the like equilibrium
yeah.
and stuff. Like,
Blow out
oh,
your eardrum.
dude, it's intense. They wear mouth guards so they don't get
Yeah.
teeth missing and stuff. It's pretty crazy. We have a new viewer here. Got Michael's Comics 54. Thank you so much for jumping in. Appreciate you. But that's gonna do it for the live stream today, guys. So I want to say
no, it's your turn.
it's my turn. Well, okay, all right. What do you guys want? You guys want a something from Marvel, DC? What do you got? What do you want?
Pull out your favorite comic book.
Oh, I already did.
Okay, not that.
It's your third favorite.
The third favorite.
Pick the one you
17th
hate the
favorite.
most.
The one I hate the most, it's not here because it's been sold. Let's see. All right, you know what? This one is a funny story. So speaking of slapping, I didn't slap anybody to win this comic book. Okay, but this is funny. So I vacation a lot. in Florida with the wife, and so there's an abundance of comic book shops in Florida. And so was at a comic book shop. This was something that piqued my interest. I was like, I've been looking for that comic book for quite a bit. It was at a price that I would want to pay for this comic book. Now the book is in mid-grade. It's kind of rough. It's kind of beat, but it's a good reader copy. I have my slabbed copy. So the first appearance of Bullseye, obviously for me, one of my favorite villains for Daredevil. So funny story. All right. I see this on the wall for $50 and I go to the shop owner, would you take 40 for it? And he goes, I'll tell you what, I'll play you a game of rock, paper, scissors. If I win, then you pay $50. If you win, you pay $40. I'm like, all right, that sounds interesting. This sounds fun. Let's go do that. Dude, it was the most epic, intense game of rock, paper, scissors because for 8 rounds, we both picked the same thing over and over until finally by the 9th round, I don't remember what I won with. I think it was scissors or something. I ended up winning the book for $40. One of the funniest stories ever about obtaining a comic book. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
That is fantastic. And it was so like determined because like you had something riding on it, right? Because nobody plays rock, paper, scissors, for money. Usually it's like chores.
Right. So, dude, it was crazy. But by every round of us picking the same thing over and over, I was like, dude, this is getting intense. Like, come on already. I'm like getting all anxious. Like, come on.
In an alternate reality, you're still there playing.
When I was there last year, I was just like, hey, like, I don't know if you remember me, but we were like, you probably don't. You see people every year, but we had a great moment of playing rock, paper, scissors for a comic book. He's like, oh yeah, I do that to people all the time.
You made the assumption that you were special. That's just how he barters.
Good times, though. Good times. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for today's show. I want to say thank you to the people who came out and hang out with us today. I want to thank my panelists for dropping some knowledge on comic books and showing off their collection. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We did have another guest that was going to appear tonight, but unfortunately they weren't able to make it, I guess. I hope they're doing okay. So, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Again, don't forget to show love to these panelists. Go click on their links in this video's description down below. Go subscribe to their channels. Follow them on Instagram. And don't forget to do the same here for the channel. I'm Ken Vidini for Superpower Review, and I will see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.